Good evening, folks. This will be probably the last segment in the brass prep process for the recently cleaned 416 Barrett. And it looks like a day after cleaning, they don't look as quite as goldeny-ish as they did the day of stainless cleaning, which, again, not going to worry about it. They still look absolutely beautiful. Pristine, cleanish. And a couple things. One, there's no SAMI spec for 416 Barrett. I don't think there is for 50 BMG either. This is from Barrett's website. The cartridge overall length here, L3, is 83.06 millimeters, which translates into 3.270 inches as a max cartridge overall length. Every one of these is longer than 3.270. 3.270, excuse me, 270. 3.270 is right about there. Every one of these cartridges is a little longer when you catch it on the right lip. 7 plus, 7.5, 7.2, 7.3, 8-ish. Again, the 3.279. So I measured all of these. They all need trimming because they're all longer than this 3.270. Unfortunately, I think one person made it years ago. They went out of business or no longer produce it. Nobody makes a go-no-go gauge for the 416 Barrett. I've seen one for the 50 BMG, so if you can produce it for 12 gauge and you can produce it for 50 BMG, you know, you should be able to produce it for a 416 Barrett. Unfortunately, there isn't one, so you're stuck doing old school, measuring with calipers, trimming, measure, trimming, measure, trimming, measure. So what we're going to do with these 9 pieces of brass is trim them. Ooh, heavy, heavy. And we will bust out the Big Boy. This, I should probably just take everything out. It's easier. Too much stuff crammed in a very small area. This will transform a 3/8 inch chuck to a 1/2 inch, which is needed to accommodate this mandrel. This is WFT Little Crow Gunworks, world's finest trimmer, and this is set for trimming 416 Barrett brass that I did years ago. So we will take this, we will modify my drill, and we will also, I knew something would fall, chamfer and debur. That is what we are going to do tonight and call it good. Let me get this out the way. I'll probably open this on the wrong place. I love these containers that I got from my local Taps Plastic, which has now gone out of business, the location. Rough economy. So I'm not the biggest fan of cordless. I would normally use my corded drill that I have hanging on my, you know, for old time's sakes, why not? Why not? Then I don't have to worry about battery. And let's see if this is not plugged in. Lots of wires hanging around the bench that have to touch every effing thing, because that's just how I roll. Why don't we knock this gun over right now, because it's going to. And that wants to be. Let's make this go the right direction. And if memory serves, I think I have the... Actually, I'm not sure if this is the same size. No, it is. It's different. Of course. Of course it is. Everything touching everything. All right, that's one. That's two. You can see we now have a bit of a Frankenstein. And what I used to do is pull out, we'll take this one, first one, let's see what we get, and I'll probably only do like two of them. This one's really close. .72-ish. So let's see what happens. We're right at 70, which is, or 75, depending on how this now wants to read. Let's take a longer one. There's 80. Doesn't look like we're getting anything here. I'm seeing very little to no brass shaving, so I might be doing some troubleshooting here. That was dinner. 72, better than 80. 75. You know, I'm always amazed at how inconsistent calipers can be. It's really quite frustrating, actually. Above 70. So this may need a little bit of adjusting. Back in a minute. All right, let's try this again. All right, that was our second piece. We'll go back to our first piece, which was roughly coming in right at, I'm going to call that 7.2. So let's see what we've got here. All right, hopefully that's a little more consistent. And what are we at? 6.8. 6.8, depending on where it catches on the lip. 7.0, 6.8, 6.8, 6.5, 6.6. You gotta love how inconsistent that is. I'll have to edit that one out. To get consistent measurement. Reloading consistent measurement. Okay, we're going to call that 6.9. I'm right in the center. 6.9, 6.8. You can't see that. All right, so that one's done. What do we got here? 7.2-ish. All right, I'm seeing flakes. There's flakes. I don't know if a better route would be to put this on the Hornady case prep center. All right, 7.2 to what? 6.7. All right, that's acceptable. We'll do one more with you guys. That's a 7.0. That's a 6.9. I guess I'll take that back. That it wasn't really needed. One of these was horrendously long. That's a 7.5, depending on where it's catching. 7.0. That's you can see it's definitely indexing off the shoulder. Yeah, that's a for sure. 6.8. All right, that was the Drew Blood fucking, God, these things are so fucking sharp. Big ass piece of brass. 6.9-ish, good enough. Seven six. Yeah, it's definitely heating up. Definitely heating up the brass. 6/9. All right, one of these was a BMF, really big. 7.5, 7.0, 7.1-ish, 7.2-ish. Again, just marginally too big. 7.2, 7.3. Again, we're getting some flakes, some Klondike Gold, 6/9. Again, what was this one? 7.2, 7.0. All right, I'll do these three off camera. All right, I saved this last one. As you can see, there's no marks, no scorching of the brass. And we're at 1.7, depending on how it measures. 1.75, 1.70. Again, depending on where it's hitting on whatever piece of whatever, which is irritating as beyond all shit. So we're going to take the old school Lee model, and we are going to, I had this custom made by Lee back in the day, years and years and years ago, like 9 years ago. And let's put this back on here. All right, so hopefully that's in there pretty good. And I want to say this is still on Lee's website, because after they made it, it became a product. So we'll take this. This is how I started trimming all my rifle brass back in the day. The only problem is it's really slow. All right, so I've got that. Of course, that needs to walk out of there. Really? Come on. All right, same thing. That trimmed a heck of a lot more than the WFT did, that's for sure. And this was always the problem. And look at the getting the brass loose again. Such a again, not my favorite methodology, but it sure does trim. What did I do with my, it's probably right in front of me and I can't see it. There, it rolled over. So I'm going to guess this is way below 3.270. And I actually had to send Lee a take a 416 cartridge and pull it apart, send it to them, because that was a correctly sized. Lots of dust. All right, let's see what we got. Old school Lee. Loving it. Yeah, 6-0, 5-8, 6-0, 5-6-2. Definitely way below 7-0. So maybe I'll run these through there as well. Good old Lee. That is it for going down memory lane. 416 Barrett Prep with 9 cases of the 79 that I purchased. That is it for tonight. I'm gonna go heal now. Later.